Good morning. I'm Dr. Harshitha. The topic for today's discussion is essential elements of a valid contract. The first essential element for a valid contract is offer and acceptance. There is a requirement of two parties for any contract to be a valid one. One person to offer and the other person to accept the same. So one cannot have a contract with himself or herself. Second essential element of valid contract is intention to create legal relationship. So the parties who want to sign a contract must have intention to create a legal relationship. Very popular case here to quote is Balfour versus Balfour, which took place in the year 1990. So the parties did not have intention to create legal obligation. Hence, the wife was not honored in the court of law for her compensation. Third essential element for a valid contract is lawful consideration. So the parties intending to create a legal obligation between them must offer something between them. So one person, if for instance, A offers his car to B, and B in return have to give some consideration for the same. So if he is receiving car, he has to give some money for it, or money is worth anything. Next important essential element of a valid contract is capacity of parties. So the parties to the contract must be competent enough to enter into a contract. So he should not be disqualified from contracting from the court of law. And the second thing is he should be of sound mind. And the third important point under capacity of party is he should be a major. A person below 18 years of age cannot be taken into consideration for entering into a valid contract. Next important essential element of a valid contract is legal formalities. So a verbal contract will not emerge. So the parties intending to create legal obligation between them must have their contract in written format and duly signed by both the parties. And if required, they should have some gazetted officer's signature, or it has to be stamped, or in a prescribed format it has to be produced. Otherwise, it won't be honored in the court of law. Next important essential element of valid contract is not declared to be void. So certain agreements are already declared void by the court of law before the parties think of such agreements. Such agreements are agreement in restraint to marriage, agreement in restraint to trade, agreement in restraint to legal proceeding, and wagering agreement. Next important essential is possibility of performance. So the parties who are interested in any sort of contract should enter into a contract for such things that can be acted upon or relied upon. So a person cannot promise on something which is impossible in nature. For instance, a person A cannot promise B to put life into B's dead wife. So this will not pave way for a valid contract on the grounds of impossibility of performance. Next important essential element is certainty of meaning. So the meaning of the contract must be certain in nature. So no vague agreements will pave way for a valid contract. Another important essential element of a valid contract is lawful objects. So the terms of the contract must be based on lawful terms. So you cannot have an agreement to kill someone, or you cannot have an agreement to, which paves way for injury to a person or his property, or which is opposed to the public policy. So on such agreements, you cannot have a valid contract. So last important essential element of valid contract is free consent. Free consent in the sense the parties entering into the contract must not be subjected to any sort of force, or it should not be affected by misrepresentation or mistake. Thank you.